love that theme song. Shout out to Mr. Melee for that song, man.
It's lit.
So listen, I want to tell y'all this story. So 2015, I'm in LA with my bestie celebrating her birthday. And I'm a Taurus. I usually like to plan stuff and be super structured, but this one day we're walking around just having fun, and I saw this sign that says psychic. So I was like, I grabbed her and I was like, let's go talk to a psychic just for fun. So we walk into the house. When you first go into the house, it's a living room setting. There's nobody there. So we start calling out, and after a while we're like, okay, maybe nobody's here. But as we were about to leave, a woman walks out of a room, which is probably a bedroom, with a onesie on with M&Ms all over it. So now I'm like, I hope this is not the psychic with an M&M onesie. Anyway, she came, introduced herself, and even at this point, I'm not really taking it that seriously. She said, what type of reading would you like? I don't know the different types of reading, so I just told her, give me the least expensive one. She said, all right, well, the tarot cards are $30, so we went with that. She starts reading the cards, and again, I'm a Taurus, you know, I like my poker face. So I'm sitting there with my poker face, not wanting her to know that everything that she's telling me is true. So I'm sitting there like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Anyway, she gets to a card and she said something that just rocked me. And she went past it to the next card. And I was like, no, go back. We need to go back to that card. We need to focus on that. Now, I can't say what was on the card because it involves another person and I don't want to put them out there, but she started delving into it and getting deeper and deeper and pretty much started telling me things about my history, things that happened before I was even born, but I was aware of. So now I'm sitting there like, okay. After a while, it started to get so emotional. And my bestie was sitting on a couch next to me. So now I don't want the psychic to know that, you know, she was really having that effect on me. So I turned my face and I'm looking at my friend, just staring at her, literally like this the whole time, not looking at the lady. So my friend, at first the psychic was like, you know what, there are a few things that I want to tell you that you might want your friend to step out for, or maybe I shouldn't move forward. And I was like, no, she knows everything. Just go ahead. She starts talking. And as I'm looking at my friend knows everything already. So she knew that the lady knew what she was talking about. Like everything was true. So as I'm staring at her like this, my friend says, it's okay. Just let it all out. And in that moment, I just started to bawl like a baby. I was just crying so hard because everything that she was talking about were things that during that year, this was in December, and throughout that whole year, I was struggling with something really heavy. And here comes this lady that's telling me, like, you need to take care of this or you're never going to elevate. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do that. That's so hard. Anyway, in that moment, I got validation that I needed to take care of that thing. So we switched gears a little bit. She said, I see you getting into entertainment. And I'm there like, okay, all right, keep going. She said, your name is going to be known all over the world. And I was like, I hope it's not from controversy because I don't want nobody to know my business. Because, you know, I've, you know, done some things. But anyway, 2020 happened, and it's so crazy that the issue that I was battling with 5 years ago, I was still battling with it at the end of 2019. It's an issue that definitely contributed to me being on bed rest for 6 months last year. Anyway, I woke up in 2020 and decided that, you know what, I need to let go of certain things, certain situations, and certain people, and really go after the things that light a fire inside of me. And I started doing that. When this podcast came up and I started working on the podcast, one day I was in my kitchen just thinking about, ideas and different things for the podcast. And it clicked. And I was like, oh my God, LA, the psychic, this is it. It's probably not the podcast that's going to take my name around the world, but I am definitely in the realm. So just letting you guys know that this is not just entertainment. This is not just me blabbing because I like to talk. This is me stepping into my divine destiny. And it's so important that you guys are here. You're blessing me, you're pushing me, you're encouraging me, you're loving me. And this is not just for me. When I speak out, when my voice comes out into the world, your voice comes out too. I am a representation of all of us. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to all the supporters who are not able to be here, who just send their love. And special thank you to the sponsors, the people who contributed to this great cause. Now, later on into the program, I'm going to be giving away a t-shirt, a Dope Soul t-shirt that was designed by myself. Front Road Apparel is my business, and Kings and Queens Printery, that's my cousin's business. Shout out to her. I think she's on the Zoom here somewhere. But a blessed person is going to get a new t-shirt later on. Now, the next prize is, these fruit juices and smoothies and cream beverages are infused with potent herbs. So if you're not about that life, don't raise your hand. And if you are about that life, enjoy. Anyway, so next up, I want to thank my team, guys. Listen, my producer, Shot of Adrenaline, my associate producer, Mr. Melee, you guys, this has been so much work. And Melee just had a baby. He's showing up doing this on like 1 hour of sleep. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So let Adrenaline introduce himself and give you guys a chance to get to know who he is.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Shot of Adrenaline. I am the producer on the Nola Road Experience podcast. Happy to be here. So far in this podcast journey with Nola, we've experienced way more highs than lows, and I feel like that's what it's going to be like moving forward, especially with somebody who understands that much about herself. There's a never-ending amount of stories. I think Melee can attest to that. Which is great because it's just more to talk about. It's a lot more to learn from. And I personally am happy to be here because this is a new experience for all of us. And what better way to do it than with people who you trust, people that you see all the time, and people that are actually just as dope as you are. So I'm the guy behind the scenes. I'm the one that kind of makes the moving pieces look good and feel good, and as well as Melee. So, yeah, Mr. Melee, you're up.
What's goody, people? How y'all doing? Yeah, man, I'm so glad to be a part of this experience. If you guys follow Nola on Instagram, you know that she posts a lot of dope inspirational stuff, and a lot of times she does these little snippets of audio of her speaking, and she just she says the most realest, dopest stuff that a lot of the time you don't get to hear often, especially from her perspective and her situation. So I've always just sent her, every time she did one of those little audio clips of her speaking, I would send her a message like, yo, you have a great speaking voice. You talk about very interesting, dope things, and you need to do a podcast. And she was brushing me off. Oh yeah, I think that's cool, blah, 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 blah. And I was persistent. Like, Nola, you did another one. That was a dope concept. That was a dope topic. You need to do a podcast. This happened maybe like 20 times until she hit me up one day and was like, guess what, Melee? We're doing the podcast. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Then she was like, I want you to co-host. And I'm like, whoa, no. But yeah, so she asked me to co-host, and I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. I'll put my input, my 2 cents, and yeah, the Nola Row Experience podcast was born. So I'm so happy to be a part of this experience. I'm happy to be a part of Nola's experience. Happy to be working with my brother AD. And I know you guys will enjoy this. It's not a question if you will enjoy it. I know you will enjoy everything that's about to come. And we thank you so much. Please share and continue to be as supportive as you are right now. Much love. Peace.
Thank you.
Hey.
I love that. Oh my God. I literally walk around singing that in the house. Like, who sings their own name? I do. So a few things that you can expect on the podcast. Mr. Mele and I, we sat down, we came up with a bunch of dope topics. Some things you're familiar with, some things might be new to you, but most of it is from my perspective. And of course, if we have special guests on, they give their perspective. We talk about gender roles, we talk about hedonism, which, honey, that's probably my favorite episode. We talk about religion, cosmic sexuality, Black history facts, how sex is connected to mental health, entrepreneurship, finances, and so many more different things. So I am super excited to be able to present all of those things to you guys. But for now, let's go into a clip from the very first episode, which will be released next week. It's titled Hedonism. The other sector of sexual pleasure is being able to manifest things with the energy that's flowing out of your body. And a lot of people don't know that. And some people don't want us to know that, because if you can do things like that, imagine what you can do. You won't need a doctor telling you anything. You won't need politicians telling you anything. You won't need a government telling you what to do. You won't need a shrink telling you how to be a mom, how to focus. At what point during my relationship should I have sex? Self-help books. All of these things literally wouldn't exist, because you would know everything. You would go back in touch with everything that you're supposed to know. And I think that could be one of the motives. Somebody did not want us to understand our powers. And we exude a lot of powerful things through our energies. All right. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
What do y'all think? Say something in the chat. Come on, guys. This chat is dry.
You could tell by my reactions. It was like
I need
bars after
I need
bars.
a drink of water.
Thirsty?
Right, Marie Rose, she went in the chat and said, preach. Hold on, where you got, I didn't hear anything. Were you guys able to hear the clip?
Oh, I heard it.
All right, cool.
We have some people in the waiting room.
You do? All right.
Yeah. People are like, let me in. So, how did this podcast even come to be? Well, first of all, ever since my grandfather got me forced into school, I was literally forced into school early in Guyana. And when I got there, I was just talking all the time. I talked a lot. And it's very typical for people to tell little girls, you know, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, not understanding that there's a reason why this girl has so much to say. You know, maybe she's full of ideas, maybe it needs to be nurtured, but that's not always a popular thing in our culture. People are just like, shush. Well, anyway, I ain't shushing now. Now that I'm grown, I'm gonna get it all out. But this started from the day I was a little child, and I think it's very popular with other women. Listen, if you know a kid that has a lot of things to say, this is a person with ideas, nurture it, let them grow into that. If you don't like to listen, just maybe pretend to listen. Because sometimes I even do that. I'm like, yeah, Okay, all right, baby, that's awesome. But anyway, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can listen to podcasts, you will be able to tune in and catch up on the episodes. And we're going to be dropping on July 16th. And keep up with the social media. I'm going to let you guys know exactly when everything's happening, keep you posted. And if you signed up for this event, you will automatically be added to the mailing list so that I can keep you updated with the episodes. If you do not wish to get those emails, just shoot me an email saying girl stop or whatever, however you do it, and I'll stop. So Shot of Adrenaline, his screen name is up there. You can follow him just the way he has it spelled there. You can follow him on every platform. Mr. Melee, is that how yours look? Hey,
Ooh,
look at that, Mr. Producer.
AD, the
hey,
producer.
I love it. So, and then of course, most of you probably already follow me on Whatever Nola Wants, and on that page I have all of my businesses that I'm involved in. They're listed on that page. And now I am going to go into a little Q&A segment. If you guys have any questions, type it in the chat, and I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to a minute, and I'll be answering questions before we go into the raffle and start giving away these prizes. All right, anybody got any questions?
One question is from Marie Rose, how do you think of topics to talk about?
I'm always thinking of things to talk about. Like I mentioned earlier, I was born a talker. So like I said, when you come across people who talk a lot, it's really because their brains are generating these things constantly. So I promise you, I will be in my bed in the middle of the night just thinking of things that you're like, why are you thinking of that? You know, and then I'll probably make a note on my phone and post it to Instagram the next day.
Right. Next question is, where can we hear your podcast?
On iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you hear your podcasts. It will also be on SoundCloud and definitely YouTube. There are videos for each episode. So like I said before, I'll be sending everything out to you guys via email. And then if you also follow me on social media, you'll get updates there as well.
Right. Shantae also asks, is there a certain time to expect all of them released?
I'm going to be releasing them one episode by episode. It won't be in bulk. This ain't Netflix.
Right.
I'm just messing with Shantae. That's my cousin.
Sidebar, on Monday, probably Monday or Tuesday, there'll be some more updates as to when the first episode will be released. So you can chat back on our Instagram at the Nola Road Experience Podcast. Make sure you follow, stay tuned, because all the schedules will be posted there weekly. So tune in Monday, you'll get some more info on that. And you can listen on all your favorite DSPs. Next question from Kavina, how will you balance your restaurant and this podcast?
I don't. It's a mess, honestly. There really is no balance. And I had a conversation about this on the entrepreneur episode. There really is no balance. There's always something that's not getting as much attention. So what I do is I give each business its own day. You know, the Hills Restaurant gets Mondays, and if things pop out throughout the week, then I'll just jump back and forth. But there really is no balance. And my kid is with me all the time. So I'm happy that I'm not, super lacking in the mommy area where I'm away from my kid 14 hours a day or something crazy like that, because I'm a clingy mom. I actually enjoy being with my kid.
Right. Kavina also asks, how can someone be featured on your podcast?
Well, if I think you cute, I'm kidding. Just email me or message me and say, hey, I would like to be on your podcast. And then we'll talk.
Cool. Felicia Lee says, just wishing you the best, Boo Cakes. I've been telling you for years to do a podcast, so I am proud and happy for you.
You know what? That's true. When Felicia and I hang out, we have the craziest conversations, and she gets to see a side of me that doesn't get displayed on social media. She's like, where do you get this stuff from? You need a podcast. So she's a part of the reason why this is happening as well. She's been pushing me to do this forever.
Great. Sandra Rowe, she asks, will you be interviewing, and who would you love to interview?
I will be interviewing. We've already gathered some people. Sandra, I think you in particular will probably enjoy the episode about cosmic sexuality. I will have a guest. I will have a guest on that episode, just walking you through or walking us through what that is and how it can be used.
Great. Marie Rose asks, what keeps you motivated to keep working hard?
I wake up every day with a fire inside of me. I feel it, and I know that if I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing, I will be miserable. It's just an energy in my body that pushes me to go. I guess it's probably like people who are songwriters. I've heard people like musical artists say things like, if I don't write music, there's nothing else that I can do. Well, if I don't get up and keep going after the things that I'm passionate about, I just don't feel good about myself. So.
Right. Shayla asks, is there a specific target audience for the podcast?
Hey, Shala. I used to think her name was Shayla too. But her parents are super fancy. Yes. You know what? Ideally, I would love to talk to everybody, but it just doesn't work like that. Based on the audience that I've had thus far, it just seems to be mostly women and a few men ages 25 to 45. Like if you look at the people who are in here right now, where are the guys? There's one guy, and he's my cousin.
Right. We have from Colin Higgins. I'm at a point where I can't seem stuck working secular. I'm really passionate about becoming a full-time entrepreneur. What advice do you have for me to make that jump?
Do a whole lot of research on whatever your industry is. Research. And you just got to do like Nike, man. You just have to do it. And that's it. You just have to do it. And I know a struggle for me is, I'm a Taurus. I also, as much as I'm passionate and I'm driven, I do have a side of me that's lazy. I like to be in luxury and just comfortable all the time. And it's like a constant battle to make sure that, I'm not overworking myself and I'm not being too comfy and too cushy. So I would say whatever your demons are that probably keep you from not getting up every day and following this business that you want to start, just fight it, man, because it will happen, especially on those days when you probably go a whole month and not make any money. And then you're like, you know what, I'm out. I'm either going to find a stripper pole or I'm going to find a job. Just stick to it. It's going to work out if you're consistent. Consistent is key.
Cool. Sandra Rose says, love you, Queen. So happy you're following your path. How do you recharge?
How do I recharge? When this event is over, I'm taking 2 days to do nothing. That's a part of what I do. I'll go hard for a short period of time and then I'll take a break. This is something that I learned in 2019 when I was on bed rest, because I was literally going for years without stopping. And then my body was like, girl, I'm not doing this with you anymore. And I had no choice but to lay down for all that time. And I'm a music lover. I love music. Nature is super therapeutic to me. And, being with my kid, it's super inspiring. So he gets me to calm down. He's really funny, super kind, super sweet. So those are the things that I like to do: family, music, nature, and resting.
Great, great. SWP Sabrina Keaton said, "I'm so proud of you, Sacred Sis. Inspiring."
That's my sacred sister.
What's a sacred sister?
Well, at the end of 2019, I joined a sacred woman rites of passage journey with Queen Afua, and ended up meeting about like 200 super dope women who I am bonded with for life.
Right. The next question: why should we listen to the Nola Rowe Experience?
Hello, it's me. I'm just kidding. Sandra is cracking up. I'm glad that you think it's funny. I think you should listen to the Nola Rowe Experience podcast because the same reason why I fell in love with Dr. Maya Angelou, and the same reason why I fell in love with Bob Marley. I literally call her my auntie and I call him my uncle, because when these people speak, I never hear them lie. When Dr. Angelo speaks, it always made sense. And I was like, you know what? This woman genuinely loves people. And that's really the vibe that I'm working through, and I'm manifesting through. If I speak to you, whatever it is that's coming out of my mouth, it's never meant to lead you wrong. It's always honest. And you're gonna get some jokes in there. You're gonna get some deep stuff. You're gonna learn new things. And you know what? It's also an opportunity for you to help me to have my voice radiate across this planet, because I think for too long the wrong people have been speaking for us. So I'm here to offset that. Thank you for asking that.
Kavina had said she's working on her time management. So, what are some tools that you use personally to make your time a little bit more manageable?
Well, time management is not something that I like. I really, really struggle with that because, like I said before, I'm a Taurus. I just like to do things on my time. If you come to me with something and I don't feel it in my gut, or my vibe doesn't feel like it should happen now, I'm not doing it. And I battle with that when it comes to business and work, because obviously things have to happen in a timely manner to hit goals and really be successful. So I do a lot of time blocking. I treat my businesses like a 9 to 5. I wake up in the morning, start my business as if I am going to somebody's job. And then when that time is up, 5, 6, 7, whatever time, then I go to my personal life. But I have a schedule, like really strict schedule. And so does my kid.
All right. I'm gonna mess up the name again, but Shala, how much of your Guyanese culture shows up in the podcast?
All the time. All the time. And I have sometimes I'll talk, like you can always hear my accent, but sometimes I talk and then I'm like, oh, I have to translate that because there are some people who won't understand. But everything about me, even no matter who I can relate to, everything about me is Guyanese because that's where I was conceived. That's where I was born. I have a big Guyana map on my back. So I do bring my perspectives from a person who comes from from Guyana and then lived in Brooklyn, New York. So you get to see that diversity in my personality all the time. A little bit of spice, you know. Yeah.
Sandra Rose says you look incredibly beautiful.
Oh, thank you, girl. Stop.
You spoke about Brooklyn. What is like the main feature that Brooklyn instilled in you once you came to this country and that you use to this day?
Well, first of all, my childhood in Guyana definitely gave me some strengths. I was naturally born a warrior. I was naturally born a survivor. But I grew up a certain way, and those values and those experiences definitely instilled a rock solid demeanor. And there are some people that I've met that will probably think that she's really aggressive, or things of that nature. But it really depends on how we meet. None of you guys think that, though. But then going to Brooklyn and living in the hood, I'm happy that I came from Guyana with that rock solid mindset, because I went through some things. And having those experiences, even though at the time it was very, very dark, it was very, very painful, just a lot of crazy things that sometimes I'm like, little girls are not supposed to experience that. But I did. And because I did, I now have a story that I can tell people. I've mentored girls in the past. And when I told them my story, they're like, there's no way you went through that. Because people think I'm bougie. I'm really not. And I let them know, like, I grew up in 90s Brooklyn. I've seen some things, been through some things, done some things. And what that did for me is really, gave me that strength that whenever I'm feeling lazy, I can always jump back into that and keep pushing.
Have you been involved in any type of mentorship of any young girls or just anybody career-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. I've mentored young girls in the past, like I mentioned just now. And it's so funny. I don't know if you guys know this, but Facebook offers a mentorship program. Recently, they sent me a message asking me if I'm interested in mentoring people who are a part of the vegan groups that I'm a part of. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. So I'm currently doing that as well.
Norma says, we were born bougie. Any truth to that?
Well, I think when I flip my hair, it makes it seem like that. But Norma and we're in sync in that way, where we just like things to be a certain way, and we function through those standards. And I think in the past, and let me tell you why this woman is my bestie, y'all. Because if you knew me in my 20s, you probably like, she has an attitude. You probably call me a bitch or whatever, because I did grow up and been around a lot of rough situations, but I had standards. And when I wanted things to be a certain way, or when I refused to put up with certain things, it happened with an attitude. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. Why are you? No, excuse me, and stuff like that. But the whole point of growing up and becoming a sacred woman and really fulfilling your full energy. I'm not all the way into my full energy yet, but I'm feeling it. What happens with that is you realize, like, none of that is necessary. I can walk into a room and not say a word and make things happen. So I guess it seems bougie to other people too when that happens. I promise you, we're not bougie. We're a lot of fun.
Marie Rose says, can't be a Taurus and not be a little bougie.
Maybe I should just admit this thing and stop. All right. It's a little bougie there. Bougie and ratchet mixed. All right.
All right. Shing asks, will you share your lifestyle as a mom in your podcast to motivate more moms out there?
Hi, Shing. Absolutely. My son is a huge part of my life. And because of him, I've been able to just be patient with myself and be patient with life. And I know there are a lot of moms who struggle with motherhood because it's not easy. So absolutely, I'm all about helping.
All right. Sandra asks, what do you do to be in your heart energy while talking about topics that get you fired up?
Say that again.
Sandra asks, what do you do to be in your heart energy while talking about topics that get you fired up?
Well, those energies are always there. It really doesn't take much for me to have to tap into anything. They're always there. the yin and the yang, they're always there. It's just a matter of, you know, certain energies show up, and then I automatically just transcend into wherever I need to be to get things happening or done.
You talk about energy and recharging a lot. So is that some of the stuff that you learned from Queen Afua, or is that like in your own journey throughout life?
Yeah, I already came into this world with certain gifts, and meeting Queen and learning from her. Listen, I had a moment with Queen when she was leaving the hotel in LA. That's where we ascended. That was our graduation ceremony in LA in January. And we were sitting alone in the lobby, and she was reading a card that I wrote. I wrote a letter in the card and I gave it to her. And we were sitting there in the lobby, and the hotel manager came over and he was talking to her. And she was looking at the card like, and he was talking, and she didn't budge. She didn't lift her head. She didn't look at him. And in that moment, it didn't even come across as being rude to me. To me, it's more of a queen energy, like, do not interrupt me, you know. And I'm hoping that I'm not putting this across in a way that makes it seem like, you know, it was a rude thing to do, because hearing it sounds completely different from how I saw it happen. And it was just so graceful and so smooth. And I was like, girl, I like that. You don't always have to be loud and crazy and aggressive to get things done. You can definitely be soft and graceful, and that's where the feminine energy comes in. And I've definitely been able to tap way more into my feminine energy because of her. The We went through 12 gateways through that program, and the gateway that resonated with me the most was the gateway dealing with family, because I've had a lot of familial issues growing up, and still, girl. But speaking with Queen helped me really manifest an energy to learn how to navigate those difficult relationships. So yeah.
Next question was, what was your biggest entrepreneurial lesson of 2020?
Not to go after things just for money. To go after things that really burn a fire. Hi, sweetie. You're so pretty. Things that burn a fire in my soul. And it might sound cheesy, but really, ever since I started going after the things that feel natural to me, all of these opportunities just start showing up. And I know the money is going to come.
Right. What about if you had to describe your podcast in 3 words, what would they be?
Super freaking dope.
So Mele, you being the co-host, what do you think is like the biggest or like the best part about being able to host every week with Nola? Is it a personality thing? Do you guys click, or is it just you hate her secretly?
Definitely not the last one, but like I said before, Nola has very interesting perspectives. I also believe that her the perspective of a conscious Black woman, like, that's not like super conscious, because I feel like some people can be so woke that they sleep and they put other people to sleep. And I don't really connect with those people like that. You can, I mean, so high that your feet are not touching the ground and you can't connect with people. But Nola's not in that experience. I think her her mindset is one that everyone can understand and relate with, but she gives you that inspiration that seems like it's some sort of enlightenment. So I connect with that type of energy, and the way that she puts her words together and explains things. We agree on a lot of stuff, and I feel like that's why we're good together co-hosting. But I also I challenge her to talk about the tough topics and the tough things.
You
And you
mean
guys will
open up?
definitely
You mean talk my business?
put your
That's what you
business out
mean.
there. We want to know. We want to know. But yeah, definitely bring that aspect to it, and I think you guys will feel that as well, and you guys will definitely enjoy what we have in store.
Thank you. And I think that me being a super private person, it's not always the best thing for this platform. So I've definitely had to do some soul searching, like, Lord, I'm gonna have to tell these people about my business.
Yeah.
And being transparent has actually been therapeutic. So
Yep.
yeah,
Trust
I ain't
me,
gonna
I'm the
know
same
everything.
way.
You ain't gonna know everything, but
I'm definitely the same way, and this has been therapy for me as well. This is something that I kind of always wanted to do, but I always say that I'm a better sidekick than I am the hero. So I'm totally fine with playing the sidekick and playing the background, and giving Nola the light and giving Nola the baton. And I can just be the support there to be like, all right, yeah, this is this perspective, and okay, look at like this, and yeah, it works well.
I love it. Thank you for that.
Word.
So obviously COVID is knocking this world around, but in time, do you guys expect to be doing any in-person podcast episodes or any live events?
Yeah, we were just talking about that today. I was literally in a meeting with these guys earlier, and I was screaming at the camera, I can't wait to be with people. Literally, that's me in the meeting, throwing a tantrum. But this podcast wasn't supposed to be launched until September. We had so many plans for over the next few months, but when that happened, we were like, okay, since all of those plans are done, since we're not doing any networking events, since the first episode was supposed to be a big barbecue. Like, we were all going to be at a barbecue taping an episode, but that's a wrap. So we definitely had to speed it up and just did the online version, and this is great as well. But definitely in the future, once we have a chance to, I want to hug everybody. So to answer your question, yes.
Look out for season 2 already.
Oh, what can we look forward to for season 2?
Can't tell you that. You're gonna have to stick around. Come on, guys.
All right, great. Well, I think this is a great time to go into our raffle. So, Nola.
All right. For the people who live in Barbados, I'm seeing Barbados in here. I'm seeing Guyana, of course, Long Island, Brooklyn, DC, Philadelphia. Oh my goodness. Everybody's in here. Queens. All right. So this bag has the names of everyone. If you look at this bag, this is going to be a bag that I'm going to have for sale, Sumptuous Bites vegan tote bag, since the supermarkets are not letting you do plastic anymore. All right, let me pull a name. And this is for the Dope Soul t-shirt. Kavina Jackson.
Hey,
Woo, 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 woo.
you still in here? Drop your name in the chat if you're still in here.
Yeah.
She was just asking questions. You here?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Anything. That's dope.
So you are the winner of the Dope Soul t-shirt. And now the winner of the Junkie Juice.
Oh, my name in there?
Juice that's infused with herbs. Honey. Latoya, you are the winner of the Junkie Juice beverage.
Congrats. If you don't want that,
She said yay.
She in here?
hit my
Yeah, she's right there.
IG.
Woohoo.
Questions, comments, concerns? Hop on the mic before we wrap up.
Wait,
Oh.
I want to say something really sorry. I was trying to unvideo myself so you guys can see me. I want to just say congratulations to you, Nola. I'm really excited for your podcast. I can't wait to see what you, Mr. Adrenaline, and Mr. May Lee have conducted. I'm really excited, and I just want to say congratulations, and I wish you guys all success.
Thank you. I love it. Love you.
Love you too. Okay, I'm muting myself. Okay.
Anybody
Right.
else?
Norma says, I love you all and I can't wait to listen, as well as Kavina. She says, I can't wait and congrats. All right, Nola. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a very, very exciting podcast. And Sabrina says, congrats as well. Do you have any final words before we end out?
Yeah, of course. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And there's absolutely nothing that any of us could do in this world without the support of each other, like nothing. Because if I was doing a podcast without you, I would have to continue talking to myself, and that just got boring. So I appreciate you guys for being here and supporting me. And just keep spreading love, keep tuning in, share it with your friends, and we will see you very soon. Thank you guys.
Hey, hey, hey.
Nola.